Alright everybody, this is my next project. This here is a Kawasaki td33. And the reason why I know that is because it says so right there. Holy shit, eh? So I got this for free out of a garage sale. And I can see why it's for free. This thing is probably not salvageable. But then I accept the challenge. So after looking at this initially, I know that it needs a heavy duty friggin' cleanup. So that's going to be the first thing that I do is clean all the gunk and crap out of it. So there's going to be a lot of soap and water and CLR involved in this. The throttle works. It's a huge friggin' handle, by the way. And it sounds like there is something going click into there, so it does work. Now I was able to pull the rewind cord, and it was able to pull out. So what that tells me is the cylinder and the piston are not seized. So as per usual, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip this down to its bare essentials. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it outside. So here we go, we got the underlook underneath. I can tell that the gas tank is cracked. I will most likely need a new gas tank. I will most likely need to get new parts for this. And because this is a foreign weed whacker in Canada, I'm probably pretty much going to be bombarded with a whole shitload of duties and charges and fees to get parts for this machine across the border. If at all I can get them, if there is anything on eBay or anything. However, having said that, I accept the challenge. Everything is going to be cleaned with CLR, oven cleaner. I'll find out what exactly it is that needs to be replaced on here once I go along. And yeah. Let's look at the freaking bottom of this. And that looks like it is a bump head. And what's going to need to be cleaned up. Okay. So I will be working on that. Okay, everybody, that is all. Alright, so I got the air filter off, and it came off of these here two screws, which I took out. And those two air filter covers are soaking in here along with the head for that cutter. So now that I got the filter off, these two screws are next, and I take those off. Then this should come off with this here, assumedly. That is the entire carburetor fixture. So I'm going to do that like right now. After having taken those two screws out, like I just said, this is what we're looking at. This here is the entire carburetor assembly, which is a lot different than the Walbro or the Zama. This is a Kawasaki. So I'm assuming that this here is the throttle somehow. This here is the line in, the fuel in. The fuel comes in through here. And when I look over to here, I can see that there's a hose cut off, so this must be the line out, or I'm assuming it's a line out, or whatever, but I'm gonna have a good look at it once I get everything apart here. And that must go into the cylinder. I gotta clean that up a little bit more too, and I'm just gonna move this around here a bit to look at it more. I got something in there I gotta take apart. Got something over here I gotta take apart. It looks like yeah, this is the main carburetor. Oh, and this is the choke off, choke on. This lever right there. And yeah, look at that, eh? Okay, so I'm gonna disconnect this carburetor. And then I'm going to take off this part right here, and then this part right here, and then possibly spark plug, then this, everything else as we go along. Right, after taking off this part here, which was on top of here, I just found out that when you pull the trigger, this is what happens. So, this little needle goes directly right inside to that little hole, all the way in there, and that must be what lets the gas in. And if I was to look harder, I would see that, yeah, there is ports where the gas goes into, and that's how it gets flown through the carburetor. So, when I look at this, it looks fine to me. I'm probably just going to clean that up a little bit, but I just wanted to show everybody that part. Okay, so I stripped it away a little bit, so I just wanted to show everybody what it looks like with some of the parts that I had taken out. And I scraped it with that wire toothbrush right there. A lot of the calcium deposits on there. One of the things that I have always said, let's wait for that friggin' siren to finish. One of the things that I've always said about taking nuts and bolts out is to put them back where you found them. So I put this one back in after taking off the muffler cover here. And there are some, I just put those back. There's some gunk in there. There's wires here. Holy shit, these wires. These Kawasaki people sure know how to complicate the hell out of everything. Yeah. Okay, so after taking off this cover here, this cover goes on there just like that. See? This was loose, so I just went and rewound it. This part here comes out, believe it or not, which makes it easier to rewind it and make it a lot tighter. It does work fully functionally now, but I put the screws back in like I said. I just wanted to show everybody this part here goes onto those two screws, and that's what holds this gas tank lever in right here. So once you get that on, I guess you could take the gas tank off, but remember, this has to go back onto there just like that. And that is what the rewind looks like on the inside of it. And that's it for now. What I forgot to do is I forgot to spin this for you guys to show you that it does work. It's not seized like a lot of them are. This is what the rewind pulls. So as you can see, it's going in and out. It's making a sound. So we are going to strip it right down to the pistons just so we can have a look at the cylinder. But I don't think there's going to be too much corrosion or anything with the cylinder. We'll probably just have to grease everything up and flush all the water out. That's it. Okay, so in order to get this muffler bolt off, you have to take these two off, and you're going to be fighting with it for a while. You're going to be wondering why. The answer is right here. You see that little hole right there? That's right. This is how it sits onto the weed whacker. There's a freaking screw right there holding it into place. So if you're wondering why the hell it's not working, that's why it's not working. Here you go. Take that freaking screw out, and you'll be able to get it undone. Alright, so I got the engine off of the housing. And we're going to take a look at the housing, what it looks like. Let's have a good look at everything. It is a clutch. Oh yeah, this part here, you see this? This is what straps the gas tank on. So you're going to see the lip. That lip faces out, and it goes on right there. So make sure that lip is on the outside. And then it's going to use it for the gas tank. I'm going to take this engine, point it towards us, and this is what we are dealing with. Clutch system. Right. This assembly right here, I do not know what the hell this is, but you got to pay attention. There's little parts and pieces and gizmos that attach to right here. Little plates and whatnot. And the guy who gave it to me has goop on here. That's probably to prevent from water from getting in and seizing up the clutch and whatever. So I'm gonna have a look at that. But right now I'm just going to strip this engine apart. We're just going to look at it as long as there's sunlight. I'm going to look underneath it. Here we go. See that? Gunk, calcium, whatever. That's how it goes in. This is the exhaust. Right there. Okay. I'm looking at this, wondering where the ignition coil is, and it's right here. Or where the hell? It's right here. This here is the ignition coil. So we're going to test that. We're going to test all the wiring with a multimeter to see if everything works the way it's supposed to. And I'm just going to clean this up and strip it right now. Okay, so I'm going to pop off the cylinder head, which is this here. There is 4 bolts, which are one here on the other side. Those bolts are actually swimming in CLR right now. Derustizing. They got the regular head for the cross head, but they're also hex heads too, so it works better with a screwdriver. But I'm about to pop this off like this. Just wanted to make sure that you remember how you put it on. So those things stick to the left when the clutch is facing you, and then you just put this down. Before I do, I'm just going to look underneath it. And there is some carbon deposits, which I will take out. There is nothing else that is in there. I'm going to clean this up later. And after having said that, I just realized, looking at the cylinder underneath, there is nothing wrong with the cylinder. No scratches, no scoring of anything whatsoever. All I need to do is just clean it up. So when I look at the piston here, I see a perfectly smooth piston, and it's got carboning on top, and I just noticed right now it's not exactly flat. They've got a rounded top on it. Okay. I'm just going to spray the hell that it is clean a little bit more, and then I think I'm going to try to get this flywheel off, but then again I might not. I'm not sure. You know what? I think I'll get this off just so I can look at it a bit better. But yeah, everything looks nice and neat. So I'm just going to clean that up a little bit and then work on the carburetor, which is like right there. I got it. Everything is in a WD-40 bath happening. All the other parts are happening right there. The water soluble. They're having a soap and water bath. The majority of the rusted parts are in this bucket here, having a CLR bath, and it's pretty grungy in there. It's bubbling as like hell. So I'm going to switch that up. I'm going to get some new CLR for that, and this should be sparkling by the time I'm done with it. Alright, Kawasaki td33 carburetor. Once you get those 4 screws out from this, it will go onto there and look like that. It'll come off. You put it right there. I'm going to use a straw. This hole lines up with this one right here. And there is nothing wrong with this diaphragm or anything, so I'm not going to fuck with it a whole lot. I'm going to turn this over. Now, right here, that part there, this here, those 4 screws, there, and there, I'm going to take off right now and take this off to see what it looks like on the other side. Okay, so after getting those 4 screws out of here, then this came out. The star is down and it goes on there like that, and this goes on top onto there like that. Make sure that you get that right, and we're going to have a look at it right now. This part here comes out. This is the hootenanny. And you can now flush it out however it is that you want to. There are holes in here. Flush that with carburetor fluid, air, compressed air, or what have you. And if I had a carburetor kit, I would replace it but I just don't, so I'm just not going to mess with it. Everything looks pretty clean in here. I'm just going to go ahead and put this all back together. These screws for the other side are different. Those screws for this side are different than those screws for this one. If you look, they are a lot longer. So, you see the difference? Do not get them mixed up. This video is a pretty good indication of how to put it back together. This is the carburetor. That's it. Right, so this here is the gas tank. And I just cleaned it up nice and sparkly with WD-40, a carburetor cleaner. Look at that, eh? Woo! Smooth. So, I have a crack in it. And that crack is right here. That seems to be the only place where I see that there is a crack, unless there's one. I would have to analyze it closer, but can I fix this? There is a potential that I might be able to. It seems like I just gotta put a patch over this area here. And that patch has to be held in with a gasoline resistant compound. So now I'm going to do some research, because I don't think if I put a whole goop of stuff here, it's going to interfere with the place where you put the strap in to hold it into the weed whacker. So this part here right in the middle is where it attaches to the frame, but this here part is exposed and this here part is exposed. I just might be able to fix that after I get this all assembled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for some gasoline gasket material, and just smear it all over there, or put some tape or whatever on that. And we'll see if that holds. If it can hold water, it might be able to hold gas. It might not. That's what I'm going to work on. Okay, I forgot to mention about the fuel filter. This is it. Now the guy, when he gave it to me, had it so full of tape around this that told me that there must have been a leak somehow. So look at this carefully. You see that? Everything goes together, right? So it goes into there, and then it's just fishes in there, and there you have the assembly for the fuel filter. If he had tape all around this, then what that tells me is there is probably a leak right at this joint, which can be fixed if you put goop on the inside of the female part, on the outside of the male part, and then that should stop the leak. And this goes to the carburetor on top. So I'm going to have a look at that. However, it has been my experience with weed whackers, there is always a return valve on a carburetor, and that's what this was, but I don't know what this is returning to. So I have to find the cap for this, because that cap is going to tell me a whole lot. And there is no other holes in here, and there should be a relief valve on that cap to prevent the pressure in here from getting too expanding and cracking and imploding and whatever. So I'm gonna put this back onto the motor and everything together. I'm just getting everything all prepared. That's it. Okay, so after getting everything all back together here, I found out a whole bunch of things that we're going to talk about. So originally, this part here was taped all to hell. I'm assuming because the guy thought that there was a leak here and it was coming out. We can fix that. This part here is put in on this side, but on the other side of the bolts, there is no screw because it's bent all to hell and it's broken. That tube right there, I do not know where the hell this tube is coming out of. I seriously do not know. So I'm going to have to look on YouTube for the other videos of what it is that they have. I have to fix the gas tank still on the other side. I put the adhesive or whatever on the bottom as a patch. I have to get the gas tank cover for this and see what that looks like. And this part here, that just lets the gas in and out, in and out. I'm going to have to fine tune that when I get the thing running. This here is the choke. This is choke on, choke off, choke on, choke off. What the heck, was there anything else? No, I got it all cleaned up. Pretty much got it all cleaned up. Got the recoil here back on. And oh, let's take the spark plug off. I just have it hand tightened. I want you guys to listen to it when I pull it. So here we go. See that? That's what it sounds like. So there is compression on this, because when I put that spark plug back on, finger tight, and then I go to pull it, I have a hard time. So that tells you that there is compression. Oh, you know what? What we can do is find out if the spark plug actually does produce spark. So what we're going to do, here, I'm just going to put this down. I'm just going to let it rest right there and ground itself out. And then I'm going to pull the rewind. Now look for a little spark. So you see that bright light? That bright light tells us that everything electronic is working. We will have an explosion. A very nice one, which will make this thing run. So, having said that, all I need to do now is just fix that gas tank, put the cap on it, find a cap on it, and then start screwing around with this and getting this running. The head here is mystifying the fuck out of me. So you see that head? That's not how it goes on there. I do not know what the hell this part is. I'm thinking maybe it is the part that does go onto this, but I don't know. Maybe I've got it on wrong, but this was how it was given to me by the other guy, and I have to figure this out. I'm not exactly sure how this goes on there, but there's some parts even missing on here. See, these two holes right here will hold the cutter for the line to go and get it cut. So I gotta figure that out. I haven't messed with the head a whole lot, but you see it does spin freely, and that's just because of the clutch is not engaged when this thing spins. So when this thing spins fast enough, then the head goes. I have yet to try to see if the on-off switch works, but that will come once I get this all figured out. And until then, I will keep you guys posted. And that's it for now.